Hello, Huntsville. What's happening, guys? I'm Mike.
I'm Will.
And this be your rundown. Thank you guys for tuning in to Huntsville Insider. So what we're going to talk about right now is everything that y'all need to know about this past week that happened in our fair city. Isn't that right? We had a lot too, didn't we, Will?
Yeah, there's some pretty exciting things. Real quick, we want to thank Ingram's Complete Comfort for sponsoring today's episode.
That's right.
You can get in touch with them.
256-679-4792. Alabama certification number 15111. For all your comfort needs, their service truly does exceed. 256-679-4792. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. This portion of the show. Yeah.
So, Campus 805 has a new brewery.
Yeah, Interspace. I have, I guess all of you guys out there that do listen to the show know that I am pretty kind of nestled into the Salty Nut Brewery scene, and so all the guys that are the owners there that work there were all very close knit family. So I actually got to go check them out once before they opened, and got to try some of their beers
because they're right next door to Salty Nut.
Correct, yeah, right next door. And so we all walked over there like a gang, like we were going to invade the place one day, and walked in, and it was really neat. They have a lot of good Saison beers. I don't know how to pronounce it. Kind of like some infused beers as well.
Okay.
That was pretty cool. And so we had a pretty good chuckle because we were there, and our good friend Garrett Coker that we see out every now and again. He actually lives in the hood with me. He was running into Salty Nut in the pouring rain, and he comes up to me and he goes, "You wouldn't have two AA batteries, would you?" And I went, and I just kind of smiled and nodded my head yes. And he goes, "You are the man."
Is he the owner? Is he?
No. He was just. I think he was hanging out there trying to launch a rocket.
Yeah.
Launch a rocket, and they didn't have their batteries were dead or something, and so I had them in the back of the truck. We used it from the task cam back in the old days.
Huntsville Insider to the rescue.
That's right. Back in the old day, we had to run the task cam off of batteries. Which is our audio unit that y'all are hearing this through, and so that was just a big old chuckle, kind of.
Right.
And then Saturday, I was battling sinuses, and I came home. Turns out I had a stomach bug, guys. I mean, I went down for the count. I was up till 3 a.m. with just tons of issues, and feel like a new man today. Today, we record this on Sunday afternoons, and so I feel like a new man today, man. I'm ready to go.
I can tell. I can tell. You could barely speak Saturday.
And I looked at Will, and so we had a great. You want to talk about Interspace? Or you want to?
Yeah. Let me throw another few things in there. So they, of course, like all the brewers, they started as home brewers, but their passion for that started from a trip to Munich, Germany in 2009.
Really?
So they came home, they got all their brewing equipment, and kind of refine what they want to do. And then, of course, like a lot of the other guys, they decided to open their own microbrewery.
It's a really cool place too. Yeah, it's really neat. The place is not humongous. It's more of the intimate scene, intimate kind of vibe. They don't have a back area. I know they put some. I saw that they put some ropes out up front to kind of act as their quote unquote patio,
right?
Because that's something that a good friend of mine went wink wink not that'll work, and so they put up some little barriers out front in the front parking lot. But it seemed to work. There was a lot of people there.
Yeah, I like their logo.
The Interspace logo, yeah, it's cool.
I'm a big Star Trek nerd. It kind of reminds me of like the Starfleet.
There you go.
Stuff.
Like you could touch it on there if they're wearing the shirt. When I go up there and touch it.
Talk to somebody. So
anyway, so Saturday that day, I was feeling kind of ratty, and so Will kind of picked the slack up for me when we interviewed Jonathan Craig and Scott Eason. Jonathan Craig is a booking promoter, agent promoter for Stand Up Live. And then Scott Eason is the producer for Epic Mike Night.
Or Epic Comedy Hour.
Epic Mike Night. It's like a rap battle thing. Sorry about that, Scott. So he does he's a producer for Epic Comedy Hour out at Low Mill, and he's been doing that producing it for 6 years, been involved for 7. So has Jonathan's been extremely involved in the scene.
Yeah, they both are stand-up comics themselves. They
from Huntsville.
Have worked really hard to get where they are. And it was really interesting to me. I had no idea that Stand Up Live, because I thought it was a big deal when Stand Up Live came here, because you had to go to Birmingham or Nashville if you wanted to hear live comedy. And so, but it wasn't a corporate thing where they're just putting a franchise here. It was so very organic that grew out of these guys and a few others trying to improve and really elevate the comedy scene in Huntsville. I mean, they worked so hard.
Their story is amazing.
Yeah.
And they're super funny guys. the language got a little colorful there, and so, but it was funny. So just watch if you listen to the show with the little kiddos or something like that. Just kind of earmuff them while you're doing that. Anyway, we had some exciting news coming out of Huntsville, the Huntsville Havoc as well.
So this is playoff time for the Southern Professional Hockey League.
That's right.
They got a lot of attention for an event that they did here in Huntsville. Huntsville was kind of the base camp for it. Mm-hmm. It was Eli Gold and Terry Crisp, former player for the Philadelphia Flyers, to come up, and they did a playoff format that really you don't see anybody doing. They took the top 3 teams, so seed 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. They let them challenge any other team in the league that they wanted to, or maybe not any in the league, but the ones who qualified for the playoffs. They got to, like, number 1 picked who they wanted to challenge for the first round. Then number 2 got to pick. Then number 3 got to pick. And that's how they came up with their playoff bracket.
That's pretty cool, man. That's a very unique way to do it.
Yeah. Well, and they got shout-outs on ESPN, NBC Sports. I mean, everyone around the country was kind of like, I've never seen that before.
Right, I haven't
heard about it. We need to talk about this a little bit. So the Havoc, of course, played, I guess got challenged by the Mississippi River Kings.
Yep.
They had their first 2 games. So the way they do it is it's a 3-game series. Mm-hmm. So best, 2 out of 3, whichever team wins that advances in the playoffs.
Right.
So it was the River Kings won, then the Havoc won, and as we're recording this on Sunday night, they're playing the 3rd game.
Right. And
so by the time you see this, you'll know how that went.
And so we're biting fingernails right now because we love our Havoc. We love everybody out there.
Absolutely.
They put on a heck of a show. I hear that they had 4,000 people came out to watch the game last night. It was awesome,
they had a full house.
I saw it on Facebook. I mean, as I'm laying there in the fetal position in bed, I see all of my friends out at the Havoc game, and I'm going, oh man.
Yeah, it was really neat seeing that, and probably a lot of you guys saw that on your news feeds as well, that Huntsville really has gotten into supporting their hometown hockey team. And we didn't even know this, but a lot of the comedy connections in Huntsville, a lot of what we have has to do with the Havoc.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because it was somebody, I think the guy who owns Stand Up Live or something knew about Huntsville because he loved the Havoc.
Yeah, he was a hockey enthusiast, so he knew about Huntsville Havoc.
Right.
And so he was like, I know about Huntsville now.
They contribute to the community in so many ways.
Yep, they do. So, so that's really cool news. We can't wait to see the playoff ending tonight for the Havoc, man. Hopefully it goes in their way.
Yeah, hopefully there's more games.
No kidding. I need some Havoc swag, man. I really do. So I hear there's a movie to be shot in Huntsville.
Yes. So director-producer Tim, I'm going to butcher his name, Reichauer, something like that.
Good job, buddy.
Tim from Los Angeles is a transplant to Huntsville. He's been involved with major TV shows like Desperate Housewives, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is a great show.
Love that show.
Medium, 13 going on 30. And so they've chosen Huntsville as the location for a movie that they're doing about a veteran who is struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder, substance abuse, homelessness, stuff like that.
Okay.
And this is going to be the backdrop for that movie. And it's meant to bring awareness to, like I said, PTSD, mental health issues, homelessness, addiction among veterans. And they picked Huntsville because, the area's got such strong support for those who served our country. A lot of retired people who served our country living here in Huntsville. Mm-hmm. Chosen to call Huntsville home.
And that's exciting. We'll have to try and reach out to them, get them set up with some folks.
Yeah.
Because we do know quite a few of those folks that do that, like a couple different organizations. So we have a cough for you, Huntsville. Torch Technologies has got a new facility coming in. Do
you know what Torch Technologies does?
I met some of the guys from Torch Technologies.
I know some people that work there. I just don't know what they do.
I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I have no clue. I just know some people that from there.
Yeah. It's got to be important.
I know that they have. It's something with technology. I know that much. And they're getting a new facility.
Yeah, they've got the big headquarters down there on, I guess it's South Memorial Parkway, just as kind of you're getting the South Parkway area.
Right.
But they're going to spend $6 million to expand. They're going to hire 40 new scientists.
Yep.
And the new place, it's going to be 35,000 square feet. Built at Chris Drive and Vermont Road, which I guess is near Memorial Parkway.
I guess so. I don't really know where that is either. But yeah, that's exciting news. $6 million going to hire $6 million to getting pumped into the infrastructure of the city.
Yeah.
You got new jobs coming in, 35,000 square foot building. That's amazing.
And-
good job, you. Torch Technologies.
Yeah.
Good job.
Their website talks about how they do research and development, but that's a very
R&D.
We need to make that a mission. Figure out what they do, and then if
Get
we,
arrested for
if we don't get arrested for espionage,
Right.
report back to our viewers and listeners what they do.
Well, guys, we appreciate you tuning in to Huntsville Insider. That was everything that y'all need to know about this upcoming weekend. Stay tuned for the podcast. When can they hit that up, Will?
Wednesday at 7 a.m. the podcast launches. You can get it on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music. Download it for your ride to work. This week, like we said, we got Jonathan and Scott. Funny guys.
Funny dudes.
Maybe wait till the kids get out at school before
Right,
you
and then
turn it on.
always make sure that you stay tuned through the episode with the guy with the interview portion. I really struggled through that, but maybe I'm not 100% yet. But because at the end of that interview, we're going to tell you everything you need to know about the upcoming weekend. But as always, thank you for tuning in to Huntsville Insider, your inside source to all things Hunts Vegas.